Older women carry a beauty that time only sharpens. It's not just in their appearance, not just in the way their skin or hair carries the years. It's deeper. It's in their confidence, their wisdom, their energy. There's a quiet fire in their presence. They've lived, they've loved, they've experienced heartbreak, passion, loss, and triumph. They know what real connection feels like. And even with all that experience, there's still one thing they crave: a man who can make them feel alive again. But here's the truth: it doesn't happen through shallow charm. It doesn't happen through empty promises. It happens through presence, through passion, through emotional depth. When you become that man, you'll notice something magical. She won't just give you her attention. She won't just flirt with you on the surface. No, she'll give you her trust, her desire, and her full self in ways that younger women simply can't compare to. Now, before I go deeper, I want you to pause for a moment, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, because what I'm about to reveal can completely change the way you see women, relationships, and yourself. And trust me, if you stay with me until the very end, I'm going to share the real secret, the one most men will never understand. You see, older women are different. They're not like younger women who can be swayed with cheap compliments or distracted with a shiny gift. They've lived long enough to recognize the difference between a boy and a man, between empty words and genuine action. And if there's one key that opens the door to their heart and eventually to their intimacy, it's respect. But let's pause here, because most men get this wrong. Respect isn't just about being polite. It's not about holding doors open mechanically or calling her ma'am while your eyes wander elsewhere. Respect is something deeper. Respect is how you treat her in every single moment. It's how you look at her, how you listen to her, and how you make her feel like she truly matters. Most men will never get this. And that's why they'll never get close to her in the way they dream about. But when an older woman feels respected, something powerful happens inside her. She begins to relax. She begins to soften. She begins to trust. And that trust, that's the first spark of desire. Because for her, attraction isn't about your age. It isn't about how much money you have. It isn't about whether your body looks like a fitness model. It's about how you make her feel about herself when she's with you. If you can make her feel valued, if you can make her feel seen, you're already halfway to unlocking a side of her very few men will ever witness. Think about this. When was the last time someone truly listened to her? When was the last time someone looked into her eyes, not at her body, but into her soul? When was the last time she felt like she was not just noticed, but deeply understood? When you become that man, she won't be able to resist you. She'll give you more and more of herself, piece by piece, until eventually she gives you everything. And here's something most men miss. Respect is not weakness. It's not about becoming submissive. In fact, real respect is the ultimate form of strength. Because when you respect a woman, especially one with experience, you're showing her that you're confident enough not to play games. You're showing her you don't need arrogance to prove your manhood. You prove it in the way you hold her presence, in the way you make her feel safe, in the way you ignite a sense of security inside her. And here's where the magic begins. When she feels safe with you, her guard comes down, and when her guard comes down, her femininity rises up. She becomes playful, sensual, deeply passionate. She begins to show you the sides of her that most men will never see because they never create that space for her to open. Picture this with me. You're sitting across from her. You're speaking But it's not just the words, it's the energy behind them. Your tone is calm but powerful. Your gaze is steady. You're fully present with her. And without even realizing it, she starts leaning in. Her body language softens. Her eyes begin to linger on yours longer. Her smile lasts a little more. That isn't just friendliness. That is desire slowly awakening. And here's the secret: the more respected she feels, the more she wants to give herself to you. Desire for her isn't born from gifts or smooth lines. It's born from safety, from presence, from the slow, deliberate energy that tells her she is safe, desired, and honored. Respect also means patience. You don't rush her. You don't push too quickly. You don't act desperate. You move slowly, deliberately, savoring every moment. And that patience, it drives her wild because she sees something rare in you. You're not needy. You're not grasping. You're in control of yourself. And that self-control is magnetic. She knows you could push. She knows you could rush. But you don't. Instead, you let her unfold in front of you. And that unfolding, that slow reveal of who she is, that is where the deepest intimacy lies. And listen carefully. Respect is the reason she will choose you over men her own age. Because while they might remind her of the past, you bring something new: freshness, curiosity, adventure. You bring a reminder that her story isn't finished yet. And when she feels that mix of respect and desire, she'll start to crave you. She'll wait for your messages. She'll check for your calls. She'll anticipate your touch. And when she finally lets you in, it won't be shallow. It won't be casual. It will be deep, passionate, unforgettable. Now let's talk about the second secret: confidence. Older women have seen enough men to instantly know who's pretending and who's real. They can sense arrogance, insecurity, and hesitation like a sixth sense. A boy hides behind bravado. He tries to act tough, tries to prove himself. But a man doesn't need to prove anything. He walks into a room and his presence alone speaks volumes. And that presence, that quiet strength, that's exactly what older women crave, because it makes them feel something rare: security and desire at the same time. Confidence is not loud. It's not about flexing. It's not about bragging. Real confidence is quiet. It's steady. It's in the way you look at her without hesitation. It's in the way you touch her hand with certainty. It's in the way you make decisions without second guessing. That grounded energy is intoxicating. Older women don't have patience for hesitation. They don't want to train you to be a man. They want to see it in you already, in your voice, in your actions, in your choices. Leadership to them isn't about control. It's about guidance. It's about taking initiative. It's about planning, moving, creating moments where she doesn't have to carry the weight. Because here's the truth: most older women carry the world on their shoulders. Responsibilities, decisions, people depending on them. But when they're with you, they don't want to carry it all. They want to feel like a woman again. They want to feel the freedom of surrender. And when you bring confident leadership, you give her that gift. And in return, she gives you herself: wild, passionate, unstoppable. Picture this again. You walk into her world. You smile steady, not forced. You compliment her in a way that's genuine, not rehearsed. You hold her hand firmly. You guide her across the street. You open the door, not because you're performing, but because it's who you are. She notices every single detail. She feels everything. And as she notices, her guard lowers. Her resistance fades, and her attraction builds. Her voice softens. Her eyes seek yours more often. Her body leans toward you. None of this is by accident. This is her attraction awakening. This is her desire rising. And what most men don't realize is this: Confidence is the bridge. It's what takes her from curiosity to craving. It's not about being overbearing. It's not about being aggressive. It's about being unshakable, being the man who doesn't shrink when he faces her strength, being the man who doesn't get nervous when tested, because she will test you. But if you remain steady, calm, and grounded, she will respect you. And respect leads to desire. Now, let's talk about the final piece of the puzzle, passion. Passion is what separates you from every other man she's known. But passion isn't about being wild or reckless. It's not about trying to impress her with tricks or stamina. She's seen all of that before. What she craves is presence. Presence is the purest form of passion. It's when you are fully with her. No distractions, no insecurities, no looking away. When you're locked into her voice, her breathing, her smile, when you make her feel like in that moment, she is the only woman in the world, that is passion, and that is unforgettable. Older women don't want to feel invisible. They don't want to feel like their time has passed. They want to feel alive, desired, beautiful, and passion through presence gives them that feeling. Imagine this moment. You're sitting together in silence. Most men would panic, rush to fill the space with meaningless words, but not you. You sit in it. You look at her, you smile softly, you touch her face with presence. And in that stillness, she feels more desired than she has in years. That is passion. That is presence. That is power. And once you give her that gift, she'll crave it. She'll replay it in her mind at night. She'll think of you long after you've left. She'll want more because passion through presence is addictive. Most men fail because they're either too aggressive or too passive. Too aggressive and she feels pressured. Too passive and she feels unwanted. But when you balance passion with presence, you create the perfect rhythm. You ignite her without forcing. You invite her without begging. And that balance is irresistible. So here's the final truth. Older women don't give themselves to just any man. They give themselves to the man who makes them feel respected, desired, alive. The man who shows confidence without arrogance, leadership without control, passion without pressure, presence without distraction. Be that man and she will give you everything: her trust, her desire, her body, her soul. And when she does, you'll realize something life-changing. Respect, confidence, and passion weren't just the keys to her heart. They were the keys to unlocking a part of yourself, the man you were always meant to be. So if this opened your eyes, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and drop a comment below telling me what part hit you the hardest. Because remember, the man who listens, learns, and applies is the man every woman secretly craves.